Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to NTR, Nuestra Tabula Rasa. Thank you so much for coming by to spend some of your evening with us tonight. And tonight we will be talking about, is the moon, in fact, made of cheese? And on our panel tonight we have Trista, we have Lucky Stone, Witchy Trista, excuse me, Lucky Stone, and Millie De La Prida, aka Earth Mother Millie. So let's start off with Earth Mother. How was your week? How have you been this week? How's your
I had a great
energy?
week. My energy is terrific. I think I had gone through a little boost of power there, or a little growth spurt, and I am feeling fantastic this week. And I started the week off like a mad woman today with a whole lot of. I ended the week off really busy, and I started off really busy. So I think it's true. February is really busy.
And how's your energy? It's good.
It's great. I feel great.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
thank you.
Excellent. Lucky Stone, sir. How was your
Yes.
week been?
It's
How's your
just
energy?
my energy's been good. It's been a confusing week, but that's not no, mostly how my life goes. Whenever I think I got a control of everything, everything goes crazy. Whenever I think life is crazy, everything goes to control. So I get into the life of Pisces. Everything's backwards and upside down, and that's okay. That's how we live.
Excellent. Excellent. That was for the comment, not for what your statement was. All right, Lucky. All right, Witchy Trista, how's your week been and how's your energy?
Pretty, yeah, pretty decent, and which is surprising because it's been a struggle, but it's been much better this week, and I've actually, you know, gotten more sleep than normal. So, which is, anything above a couple of hours is wonderful. So yeah, it's been great.
All right, quick poll.
Improvements.
How were your dreams last night? Tell me about your dreams last night. If you had anything significant, you don't even have to be specific. If it's weird, like even weird for us, then you can be non-specific. But that would be weird, wouldn't it? All right. What about you, Lucky? Any dreams? Noteworthy dreams this week?
Yeah, but they've also been bizarre, where like I can't find things, and I'm finding animals in places they don't belong. It's a lot of searching and finding things that are in the wrong places, and me trying to move things around.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
It's bizarre. Like I remember myself picking up lizards and putting them in my pockets because I had all these pockets, which doesn't make any sense. But dreams don't make any sense. I'm putting lizards in pockets so I can put them in the other place that the lizards belong. But where they belonged, and then I would go, and then when I put them back, they would go on shelves because it became glass lizards.
It does make sense, though. It sounds like you're looking for something, and it depends on what lizards mean to you. And then if they're turning glass, it sounds like they're more breakable, perhaps, more,
Yeah,
at risk in your pocket. I think
it's
it makes sense.
it's just bizarre. I know. I mean, all different colors and
That's
big.
organizing and cataloging.
Yeah, yeah.
But you got to remember, in the beginning, I'm chasing after lizards as they're running everywhere, and they're going up the walls, and they're running around. I'm putting on them, and every time I pick them up, I put them in a pocket, which a lizard won't stay in a pocket, but they did for this. And then when I go and I put them on the shelf where they belong. That's it. That was one of the worst dreams. Another one was about a wolf man I was talking to, and we were having a nice conversation over coffee. Now I don't drink coffee even. But talking about wolf man,
That's the weirdest part.
a wolf person
Yeah.
drinking coffee, and I'm having coffee. We're talking about, and I don't know what we're talking about, honestly. No, not a clue.
You know,
That was it.
real quick, just going back to that whole lizard and how they were glass, could it be that the lizards, the reptilian in us is crystallining, becoming more crystallized?
That's interesting.
That sounds great, but
I don't know.
I think it's something far more simple where I'm trying to organize things that I think it was more like a herding cats situation where I'm trying to catch things that are impossible to catch, and I'm catching them, putting them in places that normally wouldn't hold them, and then once I've got control of them, I'm putting them and organizing them in a way that I feel comfortable, which complete disorganization, complete chaos, semi-control, and then complete control. I think that's what it was about because I'm a reptile person. I like reptiles. I like tarantulas. I like strange things. But um, that,
Well, think about it though. Sounds like you're getting ready for something.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm always ready for. I'm always changing things. I'm always switching up my spiritual practices constantly. So that makes perfect sense, though.
Excellent. Excellent. And for myself, I had a great week. I can't complain. I have such a beautiful family around me. And so I get exposed to all this beautiful energy a couple times a day. And I did know I was a little flat earlier in the week, but it's just our cups fill up and they exhaust in certain ways. Sometimes we're really full in some ways, and I guess other ways we just spirit, God, source, whatever your belief is going to tell us to step back a little bit, and not come in as strong. Thank you, Nub. But yeah, overall it's been good. It's been good. All right, let's get to some mega loud shout outs real quick. If you guys see anybody you know in chat, indulge yourself.
Everybody I know.
Everybody, would you like to do the honors, Millie?
Sure. Hi, Christine. Hi, Kim Kitts. Linda. Suki. Who else we got here? Richard. Love that song. Nancy. Christine. Hey, Trista. Alex is here for the first time ever. Great to see you. Milk for a snack. Welcome. Laura. Who else we have? Angela. Yay, Angela. I love it when Angela comes in. I try not to laugh. Mary wins. Amia, hope you're feeling great. And let's see, Laura. And do I see anybody else?
Nope, nobody you know.
No, nobody else. Nobody else? I don't think so. But some people are over at Sayram and we'll be there later. So, hopefully they'll catch us on the replay because we love that.
Only one error, Millie, is when you say Linda's name, you have to say, "Hey, Linda."
Hey, Linda.
There you go.
How you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
How funny. All right, let's get to the topic at hand. I was thinking about our topic for tonight, and I thought, wow, what is fun? And something I did to my son when he was little is he asked me what the moon was made of. And I thought, here's a wonderful Calvin and Hobbes moment. And I told him it was made of cheese. And he believed that for a couple of years. And so I kind of have some background with it. And I think it's very humorous. It's one of those things that, tickle your funny bone. So I thought, well, let me look up and see a little bit of the origin. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading. The origin whoops, wrong one. Sorry. The origin of this specific phrase, the moon is made of cheese, is, let's see. It's basically a metaphor for extreme gullibility or being easily fooled, which is not surprising. Similar to saying something is too good to be true, the origins, probably medieval Slavic or European fables, feature variants like a fox tricking a wolf into thinking the moon's a reflection. The moon's reflection is cheese floating in water. I don't know if any of you remember those stories, but leading the wolf to drink excessively and burst or get stuck in the well. And similar stuff in later works, The Wolf and the Fox in the Well, where the fox describes the reflection as an exquisite cheese. Let's see. And then a very specific English phrasing, the moon is made of green cheese. This appears in print 1546 for the first time. And let's see. And of course, the appearance, white cheese, white green. The moon's round, pale appearance with craters. Sometimes looks like Swiss cheese in a sense. And let's see, visually resembles a wheel of fresh cheese. And cultural familiarity in Europe, at least, and just because of the cheese wheels. And let's see, then we have some children's folklore. And the modern take, of course, is humorous and whimsical, as is our topic tonight. No serious claims survive. Science has long confirmed the moon is rock, basalt, anthrite, etc., not dairy. But the saying endures as a classic example of playful absurdity.
Did you say the first time it was in print that it was cheese was in 1546?
Yeah, I think so. as being a
Okay,
moon.
that's interesting.
1546, The Proverbs of John Haywood, a collection of English sayings by the poet and playwright John Haywood. All right.
That's interesting. It'll come up later.
Oh, it'll come up later. Excellent.
I'll bring it up later.
All right. All right. And something else. Here, let me switch this over here real quick. So apparently this
Are we going to watch Wallace and Gromit?
No, I don't know. I don't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to post it later.
I think I kind of do. I think now that I think about it, I think I know a little bit or have seen them before. All right. So
Sorry.
we've determined that this is in fact not made of cheese. I have a picture of our moon here. I'm just going to get to it here. There's our moon on the next slide. Oh, wait, that's not it. All right. What's that doing there? Oh, there we go. There we have it. There is our moon. And some people may know a different aspect of it as well, because I want to get to the man in the moon, because some people have spoke about it in chat, talking about the man in the moon. And the origin, oh, here, let me get to that. Hold on a second. There we go. This might look a little bit more familiar. And that is from a movie, 1902 fantasy film, Le Voyage dans la Lune. I think it was French. All right. So in many cultures, several images of a human face, head, or body are recognized in the disk of the full moon. They are generally known as the man in the moon. The images are based on the appearance of dark areas known as lunar maria, or oceans, right? Yes, I think so. I think that's right. In the lighter colored highlands and some lowlands of the lunar surface. There are various explanations of how the man of the moon came to be. We did see somebody speaking about it in chat as well. And there's Richard. There's Richard. I think Richard, you're just ahead just a little bit, man. We're going to get there. Believe me. And one medieval Christian tradition claims that he is Cain, the wanderer, forever doomed to circle the earth. And Dante's Inferno alludes to this. For now doth Cain with fork of thorns confine on either hemisphere touching the wave. Beneath the towers of Seville yesternight, the moon was round. I don't know if I got that. Probably Alex is like all over it. But since he's into this poet, is that actually a poem? Regardless. And let's see. There's plenty of references all the way back to 1591. There liveth none under the sun that knows what to make of the man in the moon. So it goes all the way even back to Norse mythology. Mane is the male personification of the moon who crosses the sky in a horse-drawn carriage. He is continually pursued by the great wolf Hati, who catches him at Ragnarok. Mane simply means the moon. And of course, it's in Chinese mythology too. Let's see. There is the goddess Chang'e, I believe, Chang'e is stranded upon the moon after consuming a double dose of an immortality potion. In some versions of this myth, and this is Chinese mythology, she is accompanied by Yu Tu. No kidding, a moon rabbit. Another mythology tells the story of Wu Yang, a man on the moon who is trying to cut down a tree that always regrows. And it goes on. It's in Haida mythology. The Japanese, of course, have something like it too. It is said that a tribe of human-like spiritual beings live on the moon. This is especially explored in the tale of the bamboo cutter. There's, however, also an interpretation of the markings being a rabbit, similar to U2 in Chinese mythology, baking rice cakes, popular as an explanation for children. And of course, there's many, many more traditions. Well, at least two more listed here. Yeah. And let's see. In the English Middle Ages and Renaissance, the moon was held to be the god of drunkards, and at least 3 London taverns were named the Man in the Moon. The Man in the Moon is named in an early dated English nursery rhyme. And here's the nursery rhyme. The man in the moon came tumbling down and asked his way to Norwich. He went by the south and burnt his mouth with supping cold peas porridge. I don't know if that came out. I don't know if I had the right beat, but yeah. And so it goes on. It goes on and on. And to segue from the man in the moon, let's talk about this. All right. This is a picture that has been going around recently, and apparently it's from the Shadadran. Is it Shadadran space program, or the Shadadran satellite that was circling around the moon? This is from the India space program. And these are supposedly fairly recent, and supposedly the top picture is Apollo 11, and supposedly the lower picture is Apollo 12. So this brings up many things here. This brings up multiple angles to look at this. Okay, they could be fake AI pictures. Okay, easy. But let's assume they're not. And with that assumption that they're real, I'd like to go in at least a couple directions. And one of those directions is that A, we went to the moon. 2, that those ships went to the moon without men in them. And let's see which one of those. We'll probably put up a poll question as well, if you guys, if so interested, because I have a distinct choice on one of those two options. It's either A or two. Well, A or B. So who would like to go first?
I'm going to say it's B.
I'm going to say it's a B. Okay.
What are the options
The
again?
options are that
We went or we didn't?
that men actually step foot on the moon. Everything they've always fed us is completely real. Or option B is that the ships, in fact, went to the moon without the men.
Okay. And
Okay.
well,
Or option C, it's a complete holy fabrication. There you go.
so I'm going to go with, okay, get out of the way, please. Because you said everything they said is true, and I definitely don't think that. So I will go with B.
Oh, everything. Well, let's just say.
I'm really undecided. I gotta say, really undecided is what I think about whether we went or not.
All right, I'm gonna get the poll up real quick.
It's not that simple, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, give your qualifiers too. Then.
We think that maybe there was an unmanned ship or rocket ship that went up there, and maybe there was a supplemental movie that was created to reinforce that. Why that happened or why that was, I don't know. But I don't know. That's just a theory that it was all just fabricated.
The why that I would offer would be because of the space race, and they just wanted to be first. Because the Russians were getting all of the firsts. I rewatched the most of the moon compilation from the Y files today in preparation.
Oh, good choice. Good choice. All right, we have our poll question up. If some of you are just listening, pop on real quick and answer the poll. Lucky, would you like to give your?
Because I'm so difficult, I'm outside of everything. I believe that there was an unmanned probe thing that went from Earth to the moon, but I also believe that they did also were on the moon, but I believe they were on a different way. They were brought to the moon in a different way. And
tell, please.
I believe that let's say extraterrestrials brought the astronauts to the moon to do their things, because the probe went so back and forth. You know, there was a deal, no problem. But after a few missions, they broke the rules and said, "You're not going back to the moon ever again. We won't let you. We're sick of you because we broke some of our agreements." And they said, "No more moon for you." So they said, "Up, we're done. There's nothing else to see in the moon. So the moon thing is over." But we were supposed to go to the moon with the Russians. There was an agreement in place. but unfortunately, John F. Kennedy passed away before that could be finalized. And there are letters in the Kennedy Library that say this, that Kennedy invited Khrushchev to join them. We were supposed to go together. The Russians and Americans were supposed to go to the moon together. And let's say the powers that be weren't too happy with that. So if we didn't go to the moon, the Russians would have known and would have stopped that. So we had proof we went to the moon. We had the proofs went to the moon back again. We had people that were on the moon with pictures and everything, because the Russians were sent unmanned probes to the moon. So that was there. So everything is there in place, but I don't think our ships were capable of actually holding humans back and forth. So they helped us and said, okay, we'll let you do this.
They've been ETs.
ETs helped. They said, okay, you do your probe back and forth. We'll put you on. You can do your little show, and then we'll bring you back. It'll be a great show. And I mean, everything kind of fits better that way, because we can't build these things anymore. And why is that? Oh, we lost the paperwork.
Yeah, that's. I'll have to go with that too. I voted in this poll. I logged on as my account and voted in this poll, and I'm in the 14% of only the ships visited, no men. And I have a reason. I have a reason why, which I'll get to in a moment. And we're at 71% says yes, we stepped foot on the moon. That's out of 15 votes. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. And then of course 13% only the ships visited, no men. And most everything is a lie at 13%. I find that surprising. Well, okay. So my reason for voting on only the ships visited, no men, is because during this time, my aunt and uncle worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. And so I asked my uncle, probably about 15 years ago, I said, so tell me, did we go to the moon? And he goes, well, because he worked in radar, and he goes, I tracked something all the way to the moon and back on his radar system. So that's where I know something went. And you know how now we're going to get into our spiritual stuff. You know how you hear things, and you guys are all coming into it where you know the truth, and you know the truth. Well, that truth in that moment is I got all that information, and I was like, holy crap, they just sent the ships. That's what I got in his answer. They just sent the ships. Because then that supports Lucky's piece where we didn't have the technology. Yeah, we could throw a rock up there, but we couldn't keep the men alive inside of it for the required amount of time or something, because apparently the math is fairly easy for an engineer to figure out how to get the ship up there. And if you know the weight of your craft and you know the gravitational pull of the moon, you can math it out, and the craft can go down there, land, whatever, and then take off like it did. And the filming, that wonderful filming, I think it was Apollo 11 when the lander separated on the surface, and you see this little explosion. The lander goes shooting up. Oh, and that's not on a string, by the way. But the thing is, you have inconsistencies like that, but some of it could be made in the studio, and due to the space race at the time, maybe somebody jumped out of turn, and maybe it was us, because we're finding out that so many things right now that are coming to light with our government, and I think it's going to come out with every government, even yours too, Trista, is that so many things have been pulled over our eyes, and I think this could very well be one of them. I'm in that camp. I lean more towards the lying part of it, even though I don't necessarily know the why. But
so, if I can jump in for a second,
certainly.
So I think, like, if I'm forced to choose, I think we've probably gone and set foot there, but maybe not when we said that we did. And I say we being, America, whatever. But same difference as far as this goes. So anyway, and the reason I believe that is because I think that we got there and they were already there, and we were told, don't come back. And that's why they're like, oh, we don't know how to do it anymore. You know, just because that's convenient. And now with everything coming out, and I think you had said a while ago about them planning a new mission to the moon. And I wonder if there's stuff happening behind the scenes between the humans and the ETs that are, can you seriously, geez Louise, where maybe they've contracted, like, okay, you can come, this is where you can stay, and this is where you can, sorry, everybody.
I just watch you keep your cool while all this happens. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And it might not have been then, but I think we went perhaps after that, once, you know, we caught up or whatever, and then yeah, don't come back.
Excellent. Excellent. Millie, would you like to elaborate? Or wait, you already did. You already did, didn't
Yeah.
you? All right. All right. I want to go to our next segment here. So get your tinfoil hats ready. Let's see. I thought I saw a question here in the chat. I may have been wrong. All
Are
right.
you going to talk about how the moon rang like a bell when they dropped the probe on it?
I'm going to, if nobody else does, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
it's just
Because I think that was the linchpin when they said
Don't give it
come
all
back."
away.
No, I think when they dropped the probe and the moon rang like a bell, I think the ET said you weren't supposed to do that. Do you know how obnoxious that was?
I can still hear it.
And they
Gave
did-
us all tinnitus.
You're not coming back.
That's right. That's a good one. That's a very popular story that I think it was NASA that ran a rocket into the surface of the moon, and it's highly publicized. And the big deal is the moon kept vibrating and vibrating. What, for like an hour or something?
It was an hour when it was a very small object, just when they were leaving. And then it was 3 hours when they actually tried to see what they could get out of it.
Wow. Wow. And onto the moon being artificial. Yeah, this is a fun one. This is a fun one because, well, let's get to the origins of the theory that the moon is a ship. The modern version of this theory traces back to 1970 when two Soviet scientists, their names are irrelevant, published an article titled, "Is the Moon the Creation of Alien Intelligence?" All right. They put it in the popular Soviet magazine Sputnik. That's a fun name. They speculated that the moon is not a natural body, but a planetoid that was hollowed out by unknown advanced beings with a rocky outer layer covering a high tensile metallic hull, possibly 20 miles thick, and a vast internal void that might contain an atmosphere or machinery. According to them, huge machines were used to melt rock and form internal structures, and the moon was then deliberately towed into Earth's orbit for undisclosed reasons. This wasn't presented as mainstream science, but as speculative hypothesis, and it quickly caught on in conspiracy communities, as it would. All right, so get some key arguments from proponents. Supporters point to several anomalies as evidence. The size and orbit. The moon is unusually large relative to Earth. The largest satellite to planet ratio in the solar system, and its orbit is nearly perfect, always showing the same face due to tidal locking. Tidal locking, yeah. This is seen as too coincidental for nature, suggesting deliberate placement. The density and composition of the moon. The moon's average density is lower than Earth's, which theorists claim indicates a hollow interior rather than a solid rocket body.
I've got numbers on that.
Oh,
I've got numbers on that if you want. So the
Surely.
moon is 25% the size of the Earth, but it is 1% of the density. And that's crazy.
That's a lot.
Very good. Interesting. The craters and surface are unusually shallow despite impacts, suggesting a tough artificial hull underneath the surface dust. And you guys, have you heard about that before? Mm-hmm. You only see the craters go so deep. They go high, but they don't go deep. Interesting. The eclipse perfection. The moon and sun appear the same size in the sky during solar eclipses, allowing total coverage interpreted as engineered design rather than chance. Now let's talk about that for a moment. If it was engineered, what would it do? What would that benefit? Who would it benefit? Would it benefit somebody falling from the sky and say, hey, I'm going to block out the sun on this date? You know, you've heard there's been movies made about it where people get bamboozled by some con man coming into town. I'm going to block out the sun. And of course, they don't know eclipses happen, or they did. But it depends on who and when in time, because you would think back in the pagan days that they would know. Or this even gets to documents and text or verbal tradition. I know in some Native American tribes, they speak of the time before the moon. And do you want to elaborate on that, on any of what I just said?
I will if nobody else wants to first.
I
Go,
just
Millie.
got something. The tidal lock thing. A lot of moons are tidal locked in our solar system. I was not aware of this.
Educate.
Yeah.
Mars, Jupiter has 95 moons, and Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto are all tidal locked. Saturn, Titan, and others are tidal locked. Neptune's Triton is tidal locked. Pluto and Chiron, they're the same size. They're so close, that doesn't matter. But that's weird. I thought tidal lock was a rarity, but I guess tidal lock happens. Why, though? That doesn't make any sense.
I think it's, well, I mean, I don't know, but I've read that too, that it's very common. What's not common and even more rare than what Victor said is the moon being as big as it is compared to the Earth. Because it's not only just in the solar system, we have never discovered another system where a planet has a moon that is this large by comparison. Never.
Go ahead.
Also, with the legends and stuff, so Zulu legends believe that the moon is hollow and that living inside it are reptilian ETs. So there's that. And it agrees with Sumerians, where the two brothers who were gods and put it in orbit. So Sumerians have Enki and Enlil, and I don't think, I mean, I didn't get the names in the episode for the Zulu brothers. And they also, the Zulus believed or spoke of how before the moon there were no seasons and there was a dense mist with very, very thick water vapor surrounding the whole planet that you could barely see the sun through. And once the moon was added, all the water vapor fell, causing a cataclysmic flood. And this would have matched up with the Younger Dryas, which has a whole bunch of weird shit happening in it too, including, you know, all of the flood legends from across the whole globe. And we didn't know that the moon stabilizes the climate until about 100 years ago. And the Zulus believed the why was that they wanted it to be a monitoring station for Earth so that they could watch us. That seems legit.
Or rule us. Thoughts, Millie?
You know, I'm going to say that I have heard about the hollow things of the moon, but I had not heard it as in depth as I'm hearing it tonight. So that's great. And I want to say like maybe 3 years ago, I did hear about all these legends. I didn't realize that the moon hadn't been there since forever, right? And then in my learning, I did hear about a tribe in Africa, and I guess it is the Zulu. And to the description that they said now that Trista's bringing up, that's great, because I had just heard that they would talk about how there was a time like before the moon and all that, but I didn't hear about that there was reptilians living inside of it and all of that. And I find that kind of crazy, right? Because here's a tribe of people before there was any technology for any of that. How did they know something so specific or so matched to what is conspiracy theory now? So that blew me.
And
the
and fact now too, with like knowing that the moon would cause the mist and all of that kind of stuff too. Like that's science.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you have some science people will say, oh, well, you know, the cycles of the moon don't have any impact on you. But then I knew a dispatcher. My mother was a dispatcher for a police department, and she said people always should make me stay home on full moons. I love that, but because she would get, I don't know, 40 more calls a night on full moons, and the scientists will say, oh, it has no impact on you, but the data's out there, and also think about that moon. If it can alter our tides, think about what are we, 76% water? So all that water.
Also, sorry, finish your thought.
All of that water is getting sloshed around or pulled in a certain direction. Go ahead, Tristan. Jeez.
What I believe about why people go crazy during the moon is parasites, because parasites hatch within us during the full moon. So that definitely, and when people have parasite overgrowth, it affects their personality and their moods and all sorts of things. So that's what I think for that.
Maybe it's a signal from the moon to the parasites to do their thing. Hey,
maybe. Hey, maybe.
Extra energy. I wonder, because I know if you do a 21-day fast, that's somewhere in that time, parasites are supposed to die in your body. So I wonder if a great time to do it would like max out that fast with the full moon.
So
that way when they're supposed to feed. Go ahead.
I always advise customers to do a parasite cleanse for 30 days, and you start a couple of days before the full moon. You do it for 15 days, you take 5 days off in the middle, and then 15 more days. So I guess it's 35 technically. So you've got a couple before the full moon and a couple after, and then you get them at all their different life cycles.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And look at that, Sarah. I forgot about her being a retired principal.
Oh, how fun.
Kids and parents are bonkers. See, there you go. There you go. It's even more proof of it. And so what other aspects of our spirituality? Think about how much of the moon has an effect on us. And is the space station, if you want to tie it in, is the space station put there intentionally, if it's a space station, to help us enhance our gifts? Is it there to just monitor us, or does it have an even larger effect on us?
See, I love the moon, so I kind of lean in that direction. I feel like I get such a good energy from it.
Yeah, I'm more of a moon. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of both. I'm kind of resonate more with the moon, but I really love the sun too. I think I'm kind of neutral towards them, towards them both. Meaning, it's like you don't have a favorite cat, even though you kind of have a favorite cat, but you don't really have a favorite cat. So it's like I like both of them. I love aspects about both of them. So what are you? Let's see, Millie's sun. So what about you, Lucky? Which one do you resonate with more, the sun or the moon, or neither?
Oh, I'm both. I mean, it depends on the moment. They both have their attributes. So, but I talk to everything. I mean, so I consider them equal. I don't see one over the other. They're both influencing our lives. So, but I also keep rocks that I believe that have attributes to them that I keep around me. Not because the specific crystals, just because that rock, was from a certain place, has certain energies, and the same thing with the sun and the moon. I believe they each contribute certain energies to us. So I couldn't choose one.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Can I throw in something that I missed from before?
Certainly.
So with the appearance of the moon, so the Roman and Greeks have stories from the 5th century BC about the moon appearing, and they'll say things like, before there was a moon in the heavens, and then there was also another. Okay, I can't read with your ass in my face. In Bolivia, the Tiwanaku said the moon arrived somewhere between 11,500 years and 13,000 years ago, which again is during the Younger Dryas. So, sorry.
The Chinese also have a history where they said the moon arrives. The Chinese, the Chinese have a very good record. We don't attribute too much to China, but the Chinese kept a phenomenal record, and they didn't burn their records, which was nice about that. us white people, we burned our records constantly for some reason.
Maybe that was
Control.
the church doing that too.
Oh no, it was not just that you
I
can't be
love
interested. It was
movies.
constantly. I mean, the sea people, the Romans, the Greeks, they each did something like that before Christianity came on board. It was kind of like our history.
What's a way to control, right? He who controls the word controls
Spice.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, let's see.
While you're looking,
Okay.
unless you're going to say this, sorry, I was really excited to look at
Go
this,
ahead.
even though all I did was watch the Y-Files. So the metals that make up the moon theoretically should be similar to the metals that make up, or like the minerals that make up the Earth as well. But there are metals that are abundant on the moon, so zirconium, chromium, and titanium, which are really, really rare here. And if you were to want, like, they're also really sturdy and very like they're heavy, good metals for binding. So to, have them there is very convenient in that way. And if you look at how and I mean, hey, how do I explain this? So the minerals that are on the top layer of the moon are the older ones. And theoretically, it should be, or not even theoretically, it should be underneath, right? Because it forms from the inside. So the younger formations would be on the top. But all of the very a lot of the older minerals are on the top and the younger are on the bottom, just like it was hollowed out. Because that's what happens when we mine on Earth, is we bring out those deep minerals and put them on the top. So it looks like it was mined out.
That's interesting. And there's other theories out there, and that some of those things assume the giant impact hypothesis. Is that what it's called? Giant impact hypothesis is that a big splash or something crashed into proto-Earth. Maybe it was a big stone, and then did the old, like a droplet of water comes in, splashes, and that one bit in the center of that drop goes out, and that's how the moon was formed.
But yet they can't make it make sense, because even the scientists don't understand how it was formed. And then there's a quote from one of the, so Irvin Shapiro, Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, is quoted as saying, "The best possible explanation for the moon is observational error. The moon does not exist. All existing explanations for its presence are fraught with difficulties." So there's more evidence that it doesn't exist at all than how it does.
Oh, wow. Well, I did find some evidence for its, well, there's a couple key things that the big impact hypothesis says, and its isotopic similarity. Earth and moon rocks show strikingly similar compositions for oxygen, titanium, and other elements, suggesting they share a common origin. The impact mixed material from both bodies. Angular momentum. The Earth-Moon system's high angular momentum matches what a massive off-center collision would impart. Okay, so these are okay so far. Moon's depletion in volatiles. The moon lacks much water and other easily evaporated elements, consistent with them boiling away in a hot post-impact disk. And the mantle anomalies on Earth. Recent studies, 2023, link deep Earth structures, large, low, shear velocity provinces or blobs under Africa and the Pacific to remnants of Theia sunk into Earth's mantle. And recent refinements, isotopic analysis of iron and other elements in lunar terrestrial samples traces Theia in the inner solar system, likely formed near Earth, possibly closer to the sun, reinforcing the model rather than the outer solar system origins. And all these key evidence, it's kind of weak. It just doesn't sound like. Just doesn't sound. Doesn't super resonate with me. Yeah. Huh. All right, you were going somewhere else with that too, Trista, and I popped back.
No, I think that's all I had for that part anyway. I've got a few other things, but we'll see if you have them on your notes too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and going in that vein too, going in that vein that it's fake. Let's jump ahead to this Artemis mission that SpaceX is about to do. There's all they're doing is putting people around the moon, and we haven't even spoken about the dark side of the moon yet. Okay, because it is curious. Back to Lucky's point earlier, and howdy to whoever's meowing.
Chelsea, I
Is that it's very
escorted her away.
curious. It's very curious to me that the moon is always showing one side to us. And some people, some conspiracists out there will say, well, the moon's reflecting. All it is reflecting the surface of our planet. And then you can see drawings. Oh, I should have found one. I guess I could find one. But it shows drawings of like all of our continents that we know about up on one portion of the moon. And I'll go look for that as we go a little bit deeper into this. But the thing is that some people say all it is a reflection, that it's something reflecting. Or maybe it's a hologram, or all it's doing is reflecting it back, a picture of our Earth essentially, or an outline of it. But everything else you see on it is in fact on our Earth as well. We just don't have access to it or something. So then now you start getting into some flatty, earthy stuff, plus potentially. All right, I'm going to go find that picture real quick.
Okay, there's no dark side of the moon, though. That's the problem, because it always faces our Earth. It's the whole moon gets lit up, but as it turns around, so the dark side of the moon is just for us. That's one of the problems. It's like there is no dark side of the moon. We say that, but it's only dark during the thing. Full moon.
It's the side that faces away from us that we never see.
Yeah, so it's like it's also
but
pockmarked.
it's-
It also that side is all pockmarked because it's protecting the Earth. That's the thing. Also, the moon protects the Earth from a lot of stuff falling on it, which is nice. Nice.
Also probably pop marked from when they had to, dig it out to make their little station in there. So while Victor's looking that up, the astronauts that went on Apollo 11, when they came back, the press conference, they look absolutely disturbed. And I encourage people, like, I don't know what clip, like what you would look for in the clip, but like go watch the Hollow Moon episode of the Y-Files, because that clip just absolutely kills me. Like, they look terrified. Absolutely terrified.
And then who was the director that made that Space 2001? Kubrick. And wasn't he apparently part of the lore is that he was part of that film crew that filmed the astronauts, did all the fake filming stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then people will say, well, how did they delay it? Because they were doing live calls. So they had the technology back in 67, 68, that an astronaut on the moon. Oh, I guess he was speaking to the president via the radio. Okay, never mind. That's not too bad.
No, there was a problem with that. When they were talking to Nixon, it was not much of a delay. The delay they had when they were talking to Nixon was not long enough to do it on the moon. That is one of the problems that is conspiracy theories come upon, and that's something where I believe that he wasn't talking. He was, the aliens were intervening and basically letting it, removing the delay. That's one of my ideas, because otherwise they were on Earth doing that. They were talking to them. There's no other way, because he was on the phone talking to them. They were talking on the radio. He was on the phone talking to them, and that's kind of weird. But of course, they could probably attach the phone to the radio. But again, the delay was non-existent, which is or not enough to accommodate for, back and forth.
Okay.
That's one of the weird parts that they can't quite explain. And they're like, oh, no, they do, and it doesn't make any sense. They did kind of like, shut up, don't ask those questions, go away.
All right, I found a picture. Let me get it in here real quick.
I just find it funny that here we are today and we have so many pockets of areas that we never have phone reception. And yet from the moon they had reception. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's different, I guess.
yeah, because that's radio. That's radio. Yeah. Well, we certainly live in an interesting time because we could even take it a step further and say that maybe there is something above us. Maybe there's something outside of the moon. Maybe the moon is not exactly what we think it is. And maybe once you get out into space, a certain distance from the planet, maybe things start getting extra dimensional. Because what we see in the night sky, is that something that shows distance? Well, all right, let's get to this photo before I find some. That's kind of getting rabbit holey. All right, here is a picture, and that hologram. The moon's a hologram, and you see down in the lower right. Oh, let's see, down at the bottom, you can see there too. They have some certain arrows pointing, but you have to twist around our continents. And in the lower right, that circle, you'll see that's the amount that actually matches up to the moon. So that matches up to the moon's picture up here, up in the upper left. Do you follow what I'm saying? And that's why people say, oh, it's a reflection. And so if that's true, then if the moon is in fact a reflection of what we live on, then we only know our known Earth is only a third of the entire thing that we live on, the planet or disk or whatever you want to say. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I find that interesting that somebody correlated or was able to get that map to work. And if you look at the moon, it's pretty doggone close.
Yeah.
Of course, I haven't verified this independently on my own, but I find it fascinating. Because if that's the case, then there's a whole lot more of our planet / disk / whatever you want to believe that we're on, this plane that we're on, that still remains to be explored as far as we know it. And there's also a map out there too that actually has the names. I think I might have to share it with you guys tomorrow because I think I have it on my phone. But it shows all the names of the areas outside of our known lands. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's super interesting. I've never seen that. That is a compelling argument for a flat Earth now when you present something like that. And I'm not saying that, I'm instantly, but I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand. I'm going to go with the globe because I've watched far too many launches and I still see them up in orbit and just the way it feels round. I don't know. It just feels round, and maybe that's the stuff around us is a different density, a higher or lower density. Maybe it's fourth density. So, I think we go back to my conspiracy guy that I watched named Phil, and he talks about that what is coming to us, what is about to happen, is on no one's radar. It's like it's going to be so amazing that you couldn't possibly imagine it happening. I'm thinking, wow, that's quite the statement. Just think about all the imaginating we've all done together on this show. We've talked about a lot of different things. And is that our imagination? No, it's just what we know. It is what we are. And apparently what's coming, according to what's going to happen from my conspiracy, he's not a friend or anything, just a guy I watch on TV, but a guy that helped me tremendously. But Phil is saying we're not going to be able to fathom what is coming. So, and in that chord too, notice what's happening on June 12th. What is happening on June 12th? Spielberg's new
oh, right.
Disclosure movie's coming out. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And then other things or other things out there are saying that I think May 1st, the disclosure speech is going to be done by the president. Stuff like that is like the chatter I see on X regarding this stuff. So we shall see. And you know what's cool about this conversation is in 2 months we could know what the moon is definitively. You see, that's the really cool thing about it. All right, let's get over to our main room here. All right, thank you all for coming tonight. Of course, we're almost
Wait.
to the top. Hold on, we're almost to the top of the hour. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so the 1546 thing.
Oh yeah.
So between 1540 and 1967, there were 570 sightings of unexplained flashes of light on the moon.
Wow.
570.
570. There's also one that, so in 1971 on March 7th, a mist appeared and it lasted for hours. There's also boulder tracks that go on for miles, even uphill. Like, that's weird. And then in 1992, they discovered a blue light in the Aristarchus crater. And since then, it has appeared every few years. They call it the blue gem. And even Earth-based telescopes can pick it up.
Wow.
People suspect that it's a fusion reactor. And the structures cast shadows as well. And you had showed some of the structures at the beginning of the episode, and they actually cast shadows.
And 570 it makes it 12, which makes it 3. Which is cool.
And there are isotopes that don't occur naturally in nature. So uranium-236 and neptunium-237 that are on the moon for some reason, even though we had to create them in a lab on Earth.
Well, that could also be exhaust from whatever's on our moon.
Well, right. But like from the official story, it doesn't make sense.
And see, I heard that, and I automatically jumped. Oh, it's exhaust. There's a nice one small leap for our brains, and one giant leap for Victor alone. All right. Any final parting thoughts? And who is up next week?
I think I'm after you usually.
Okay.
I think.
I wore my moon shirt, but I didn't show anyone till now.
Oh,
I wear moon shirt, but I don't.
I love it.
do very
Like
well.
it.
I wore my moon tattoo.
Okay.
All right. You guys ready to do it? Are we ending this with a big moon? I was not the only one.
Oh,
You guys made me. Okay.
I accidentally put pants on. What was I thinking?
I'm joking. I just remember it was so much fun mooning people.
I thought we were
back in the day.
starting with that.
Yeah. All right, my friends. Any parting thoughts before next week?
Stay open-minded.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
That is good. That's a good one, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna say go in peace. It's new moon. Yeah, we were talking about the
It
moon.
is. It is a new moon.
Oh, it is tonight. Tonight is
It's
new.
Tuesday.
Oh, okay. We're coming up to one. That's awesome.
Everything is
Yeah.
Tuesday. So much.
That's the
Tuesday.
17th, isn't it? That's very interesting. All right, my friends. Thank you all so much for coming by tonight, and we love having you here. We love having our wonderful talks, and we will see you next week.
Can
Until
we
then.
plug our Millie and I are going to be on Jimena's channel tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right,
Oh my
Millie?
God.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we are. Tomorrow at 11.
Yeah.
Oh, The Witches 3. Awesome.
Yeah.
At 11 a.m.
11 what?
No, 11
No,
p.m.
no.
Oh, p.m.
After Truth Wave.
Okay.
PM
After.
Eastern time?
Well,
Pacific
yes.
time?
Yes, Eastern. Yeah.
Eastern time. Okay, Eastern time. You got to be specific because we have people from all over the world.
It's moon time.
This is true.
That's why we
Yes.
should have one time.
Moon time means
One
something
time.
different.
We should have one time globally. But that's another story. All right, my friends. Anything else before we adios?
I am putting down Seiram's or Sriram's Shivarati,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Mahashivaratri.
Shivaratri, which means night of Shiva. Basically, Ratri is night.
Yes. Okay, so it is an all-nighter. So we are having our all-nighter with formerly known as Jared, right? Say wrong. And I'm going to put the link here. So if you want to come by and join us, or if you can't sleep and you want to be open to something different,
Did you put it in there?
I just
Oh, okay. I missed it. Okay.
okay. Yep.
What is Scotty saying? The non-Canadian cheating way time. I don't get it. And then my name and a bunch of question marks. Sorry,
I was
Scotty.
talking about, do you go to daylight savings time? Do you guys
Oh,
practice daylight savings time?
Yes. Oh, God, yeah, unfortunately. And we voted on it, and more than 50% of people voted to stop changing time, and then we still did. So, thanks for that. It's a good thing we voted.
All about control. Yeah. Yes, it is. All right, my friends. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. We love you all. And
Thank you.
until next week, namaste.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.